Hey, fifth grade, it's Mrs. Pritchard. I'm going to be teaching you kind of the new intro lesson for 8.6. So we're almost through with our customer units. So today we're going to be working on the units of weight. So before I jump into that, I wanted you guys kind of visualize and think about what's kind of the smallest to the largest unit of weight that we're going to do. And the nice part is, you guys, there's only 3 main units we have to worry about. So if we're going smallest to largest, the first one we're going to kind of think about, if we look here, is going to be ounce. And then I just put the abbreviation OZ. So if you're thinking about ounces, who doesn't like a nice slice of bread in the morning? So if you think of weight, how much something weighs, a slice of bread is about 1 ounce. So that kind of helps you. Now, as we're moving up, the next kind of middle unit would be pounds. So again, when you think of measuring something in pounds, that is my beautiful little boy Emerson. So we usually think of ourselves as being measured in pounds, right? So again, he is probably 20 pounds by now, 25 pounds. He's kind of a little guy. But also like think of it as being kind of the weight of like a soccer ball being 1 pound. And then the biggest one that we're going to talk about is going to be tons. So again, think of, who doesn't love a sports car? So you can think of driving a sports car, an elephant. Those are kind of things that make you think of tons. Okay, so again, we're going to have ounces, pounds, and tons. So that's something we're going to work on. Now, another thing that's going to be really important that I'm going to attach is you are going to have this customary units of weight chart. So again, up here I have our ounces, okay? So 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. And then we kind of have our middleman, 1 pound. And then tons, it takes 2,000 pounds just to equal 1 ton. So that tells you how big a ton is. And then I also put on this sheet to kind of help you an example, like when we convert to a smaller unit. So if we're going like tons to pounds, I just kind of put those 3 steps that you're going to work on. And then I also did kind of an example when we're going to a larger unit and we'd be dividing. So I want you to know that those are there to help you. Okay, I kind of have my chart ready to go, but that's what I want you to be using when you're doing your sample problems today. Okay. All right, so let's change this up. Okay, so I'm going to make a big screen here. Hello, how are you guys? So we're going to do kind of an example together like we've been doing. Okay, so just like we've been doing, okay, let me switch this because oh, there, that's a little bit easier to read. Okay, so when you're looking at this, I'll move that back. Okay, we're going to code it just like we've been doing. So there's really only 3 units we need to focus on. So we're going to be going from ounces to pounds. So again, you will have your chart to look at, but I also have one printed here. So again, if I am looking, I'll make it kind of big. So again, my ounces is down here, pounds, and then tons. So I know if I'm starting in ounces and I'm going to pounds, that I'm going to be going, if I code it, I'm going to be going from that smaller unit, because it's the smallest unit, to my larger unit. Okay, and again, if I'm going to a larger unit, is it going to take as many? No. So I know I'd be dividing. Remember, there's examples on your sheet to help you. Now, the next step is I'm just going to be writing my equation. So that was kind of step 1, is figuring out what direction we're going. Step 2, we know we have 720, so we're going to do 720 divided by, make that a little bit. Now, here's where you have to find that magic number. And there's not a lot of choices, which is nice this week. So we need to figure out how many ounces are in 1 pound. So we would go back and look at our chart. And when I look at my ounces, I know that there's 16 ounces in 1 pound. So my magic number that I want is going to be 16. So I might kind of bubble that. Okay, and then the third step is that you need to solve. Now, these may not be ones that you know at the top of your head. So if you don't, come down here. We're just going to divide it out like we normally have. Okay, it can't go into 7, but it can go into 72. Now, if you don't know your 16s, work it out over here. Try to get a starting number. So someone might say maybe 5 would be a good number. Someone might say 4. So let's try 5. So if I do 16 times 5, ooh, I can see that that got 80. So I know that I need to go down 1. Now notice I'm not erasing my work. I'm just going to do it here. Or I could subtract 16. I'm just going to do 16 times 4, which is 64. Now that's the best we can do. So over here, we're going to put our 4, subtract 64. So I'm just doing my own grouping here. So 12 minus 4 is 8. Drop down your 0. Oh, and would you look at that? This is why I tell you guys, do not erase your work because it could help you later. So now I have 80 and we know, we just did the work, that it goes in perfectly. So I'm going to put in 5 up there and subtract this out. So now we know that 720 ounces is the same as 45 pounds. Okay, we coded it to see what direction we were going, smaller to larger or larger to smaller. We wrote an expression. We have to find this magic number by looking at our chart. We found that there were 16 ounces in 1 pound, and then you just need to do your math. Okay, it's the same steps. And actually this chart's easier because you really only need to keep track of 3 units. Okay, so let's practice one more where maybe we're going from a larger to a smaller. Okay, so let's go like tons. Let's go tons to pounds. So let's say we have, let's say like 5 tons. And we want to know how many pounds. So first step, we're coding. And tons we know was like that lovely sports car I had, and pounds was like my little Emerson. So I know I'm going from a larger to a smaller unit. So it's going to take a lot more pounds, right? Sorry for that glare. Ooh. So we know we'd be multiplying. We're going to be getting a larger answer. Now, second step, I'm going to write my equation. So 5 times what? So we need to think how many pounds are in 1 ton. And again, this is going to be on your sheet that I give you. So if I look here, oh my goodness, if I look over here, there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. 2,000 pounds. So when I go back to my sheet, I'm just going to do 5 times 2,000. So there's my magic number. And now to solve this, you guys can do this one mentally. 5 times 2 is 10. And then I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. Put in my comma. Make sure you guys are putting in your comma. So 5 tons is the same as 10,000 pounds. So you guys are going to see when you guys are doing your conversions, this number, I mean, you're going to be using 2,000 a lot, 16. Okay, it's not going to be too tricky, but please look at the examples that I put on your sheet. I walked you through the 3 steps that you need to do. So today, you're just going to have problems like this. Okay, just going from one unit to the next, practicing using your chart and kind of thinking about should there be more or less than that unit. Okay, if you guys have questions when you're doing your sample, reach out. If you're like, I don't get this, okay, I can always do another video or try to meet with you. Okay, and remember today, you are going to be, having sample that are going to help you with your homework. So you guys need to make sure you're doing them. Okay, thank you to those that are working so hard. We really, really, really appreciate it. Okay, see you guys.